Okay, good day, everyone. I'm really excited to introduce the next episode of You're the Boss podcast show. And today I have with me Alan Lazaros, and he's going to be talking today about helping you set up your business with systems. So before I just introduce Alan to you, let me just explain who he is. So at age 2, Alan's birth father passed away in a car accident. At age 26, after getting into a near fatal car accident himself, he started to question everything. And that's when he discovered what had been missing all those years: self-improvement, personal development, and personal growth. So that's what Alan is all about. And he's come to talk with us today. So Alan, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I do not take it lightly at all to be here. I think that what you pay attention to changes your future tremendously. There's two things I think that in control theory we can control. One of them is what we pay attention to, and the other one is what we say, think, do, feel, and believe, and they're very connected. So thank you for having me, and I will not waste a second of anyone's time. It is an absolute honor, and I am very grateful.
Thank you. Well, thank you for saying that, and thank you for coming on. And I completely agree with what you've just said. It is so true. So true. Alan, just explain a little bit before we start who you are, what your background is. We hinted a little bit about that just now, and then what your business is, what you're running today as well.
All right. So my story, I'm 37 now, and I'll take you all the way back. There's 3 main things that sort of shaped who I am, so I'll go through those. I like to call myself Alan version 3.7 because I'm a computer engineer. So my birthday was November 17th, and I'm now Alan version 3.7. So I am hopefully upgraded from last year. And I think that's a good metaphor, right? But
that's good, yeah.
So 1988, I was born and raised in Massachusetts, New England. And I had a father named John McCorkle. And I had an older sister who was 6 at this time. So 1988 I was born. 1991 my birth father, as you mentioned in the intro, tragically died suddenly in a car accident. And so his name was John McCorkle. He was part of a big family. He had 5 siblings. It was Jim, Joe, John, Jane, Joan, Jeanette. So 6 kids, all J.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Irish by any chance?
Yes.
Yes.
How did you know?
McCorkle would have given it away.
Yeah, okay.
A large family also.
Yes, big Irish Catholic family in Massachusetts. Yep, exactly that. So well done. But yeah, so 1991, my birth father passed away in a car, and my sister at the time, so I was 3, I was 2.5, almost 3. My mom was 31, young stay-at-home mom, and my sister was 6. So for them, it was a lot harder than me because they obviously knew him, and I was still kind of a little blob.
Very life-changing.
Yeah, for sure. And so he was 28 years old. And I had a stepfather from age 3 to 14 named Steve Lazaros. So I took his last name, I think around age 7-ish. And we didn't really associate much with the McCorkles anymore because we're trying to be the Lazaroses. And so from basically the early 90s to the early 2000s, 14 years, 1991 to probably like 2005, 4-ish, we were the Lazaroses. And this was, I playfully refer to this part of my life as boats and BS. And what I mean by that is he worked for a company called AGFA. They did hospital computers during the dot-com era. And the 90s in the US were wild economic boom times. I mean, it was crazy. And the economy was growing like crazy in the 90s. Anyone can look that up. And so we had boats and ski trips and a Ducati motorcycle and trucks, and we had snowmobiles. We grew up on a lake, and we had a yacht. We had an apartment building. And my mom and stepdad liked to party. That's a polite way to put it. But they also didn't get along, and that's also a polite way to put it.
Okay.
So very volatile childhood. From the outside in, it looked great because we had all the stuff. But from the inside out, it was not good.
All right.
Stepdad finally leaves, takes his entire extended family with him. This is in I'm 14 at the time, so I would have been a freshman in high school. So this would have been, I graduated in 2007, 2003, 2004.
Right.
I'm a freshman in high school, 14 years old. Stepfather leaves, takes his entire extended family with him. Never seen or spoken to a single one of them since.
Right. Wow.
I talked to my stepdad a little bit on Facebook Messenger in my 20s and 30s, but never seen the man. Same year, sister moves out with her older boyfriend, understandable. Same year, mom gets in a fight with my aunt Sandy. We get ostracized from her side of the family. To this day, I've only seen or spoken to 2 human beings from my mother's side.
Wow. Okay.
So again, didn't know this at the time, but in hindsight, as a 37-year-old man, I've reflected and sort of rewatched the movie of my own life, metaphorically, therapist named Carol, and I've realized that I kind of lost 3 full families by the time I was 14 years old.
Right.
So all I really knew at that point was abandonment. Now, I had 2 trauma responses. So I think we all have to live in 2 worlds. We have to live in the social world and the real world. The social world is the wedding photos. The real world is the actual marriage.
Yeah.
And I had the 4 trauma responses are fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. I didn't learn about fawn until my 30s. That was definitely the social one.
Right.
So I became this sort of social coward, so to speak. Fit in, hang on to friends and family, hang on to friends and family, hang on to friends and family. So fawn is appease. So I would appease everybody. But then behind the scenes, when I was alone, past is painful, present's painful, look into the future, bigger, better, brighter future. Take responsibility for it in advance, aim higher, work harder, get smarter. I became this sort of, and none of this was conscious, but my trauma response to all of that abandonment was, I'm going to prove my value. And I became this sort of super achiever. Straight A's through all of high school. President's Award signed by George W. Bush behind me. Get into one of the best engineering schools in the world. It's kind of mini MIT. It's called WPI, Worcester Polytechnic Institute. Get my computer engineering degree, graduate with high distinction, get my master's in business, and I'm off to the races. Tech company, tech company, tech company, tech company. So after college, I did very, very well. And I went from kind of broke when my stepdad left. So my stepdad took 95% of the income with him. And we went from boats and ski trips to I get free lunch at school now because our income is so low. My mom trades in her BMW for a little Honda Civic. We don't have cable. We're not going to starve by any means, but we're struggling. How do you keep the house in the family? My mom, so my stepdad got the apartment building and the yacht. We got the house and the dog. And it was look into the future, no generational wealth, no trust fund, no dad. Like, we're in some trouble. Straight A's, got all the scholarships and financial aid I could, got into the best college, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward, I'm in my mid-20s now. I am now a global 1% earner with all of the success that I thought I wanted. Making almost $200,000 a year US, and this is back then, so it was very good. I had $150,000 in a Vanguard account, all different stocks, ETFs, tech companies mostly. And then I paid off $84,000 worth of college debt in a single year back in 2014. And then it's 2015. I'm 26 years old. It's 11 years ago now. And I get in my car accident. So head-on collision, my fault. 30 miles an hour, not a fender bender. This was intense. Luckily, no one was killed because it would have been my fault. But essentially, I hit a lift-kitted pickup truck on a dark winter night. The snowbanks were covering the yield sign, and I was supposed to yield. I didn't. I end up on the wrong side of the road. Head-on collision. And physically, we were okay. No one was killed. No permanent damage. Definitely rattled, but no permanent damage. But for me, this is the second chance my dad never got. And so this was my quarter-life existential crisis. Just who am I? What was this all about? What was the point? And really what I've got it boiled down to now, and in hindsight it's very clear, even though at the time it was not, I was not even close to reaching my full potential.
Okay, interesting.
And so I made a promise to myself that I would reach my full potential and help others do the same, and that I would sort of dedicate my life to that. And that's when I found self-improvement, personal growth, and personal development.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, life is painful. Mine certainly was. However, you can either let that destroy you or you can help it build you. And fortunately, I have taken a lot of the destructive habits that I've had in the past and really quit drinking and put my health first. And now we're Next Level University with 2,273 episodes, and we have a 22-person team now, 21, about to be 22, and we're heard in 180 countries and all kinds of cool stuff. So, but that was 11 years ago, and it's interesting, too, to tell it now because it all started with this one idea of I was squandering my potential. And it sounds like I wasn't. I want to be very honest about this. It sounds like I wasn't because straight A student, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But here's the truth. None of that was that hard for me.
Yeah.
as much as that doesn't sound kind, it's I was barely trying compared to what I really was capable of. And for those of you out there who feel like you are barely scratching the surface of your true potential, I feel you deeply. And there is another level on the other side of, sort of facing your deepest fear. And for me, my deepest fear was the stuff with my dad. And after you face mortality, you go, okay, I got my priorities right now.
Okay. Yeah. So you're given a second chance there. So tell me about the Next Level University then. What's all that about? How did that start? And what does it serve?
So 11 years ago, after that car accident, I started a company called Alan Lazaros LLC, what you'll never learn in school but desperately need to know. And I wanted to inspire, motivate, and educate people. Particularly, I was a straight A student in high school, right? And I got high distinction in college, blah, blah, blah. Academic. I didn't learn anything about habits. I didn't learn anything about courage, humility, or vulnerability. I didn't learn anything about relationships or effective communication. I didn't learn anything about finance till grad school. I didn't learn anything about fitness or nutrition compared to what I know now. Sleep, hydration, nutrition, training, breathwork, supplementation, all these things that we don't teach.
Yeah.
I wanted to learn, and I would have learned. But we didn't teach personal development or self-improvement or personal growth. Or mindset, or belief systems, cognitive behavioral therapy, internal family systems. These things are life transforming. Yeah. And we don't learn them. So I decided to start a company that saves the world one uneducated soul at a time. No, at the end of the day, my truth is I'm playful, but I don't think we were taught how to reach our full potential. I know that we weren't actually. And I actually think that fulfillment and love and health and wealth are a byproduct of reaching your full potential. And that's what I do now. So that's what Next Level University really is at its core. We got a book club and we got master classes and we do business coaching. We do podcast coaching. We produce 80 plus podcasts now. And we have it's awesome. But ultimately the core, what NLU really is the education that none of us ever really had.
Right. Okay. Yes, I think school is not really set up to teach you about life and how to live it, right? At all.
Definitely not.
It's just the academics and that's it. And usually you don't use most of that information in the rest of your life anyway.
And people always tell me, they're like, well, Alan, school is supposed to teach you about, reading and writing and arithmetic, and then your parents are supposed to teach you about life. Well, I have news for you. I didn't get either, okay? No. School did a good job with sciences and mathematics and reading and writing, but they did an atrocious job of teaching me about life and how to reach my full potential. And so at the end of the day, I think professional development is great and school is good for that. But personal development is even greater. And I'm a personal development nerd through and through.
Yeah. And I think as well, when you set up a business, that's one of the journeys you go through is this personal growth. You have to in order to be able to run a business, right? Because as you say, you're not taught it at school. That's for sure. So so tell me then, as we mentioned at the beginning, the topic we're going to talk about today and cover really is on the systems in a business. So we talked before the call, before this particular podcast, we had actually had a discussion around this, and which I found absolutely fascinating. And I just want to share that with the listeners here, just how important systems are. So if you can sort of take them through, maybe first of all, what is the system? What are systems in business? What are they for? What are the benefits of it? And how do you run yours?
Yeah, so the point of systems and systems thinking, and it's built on mathematical modalities of thinking, like constraint theory or chaos theory or game theory.
Right.
And the idea of systems thinking, the simplest way that I break it down is a rectangle. In the upper left is inputs, the upper right is outputs, the bottom right is measure, and the bottom left is adjust. So it's inputs, outputs, measure, adjust. Inputs, outputs, measure, adjust. Okay. And so it's cause and effect based.
Yeah.
And not just cause and effect, but cause and ripple effect. Nice. So the point of systems is to sustainably and consistently create an outcome that you reverse engineer your goals. So it's very hard in business to articulate this without writing it out. I have this remarkable that I usually draw on in my master's and stuff like that. Yeah, so good, right? So good. So, but really what it comes down to is you set a goal, which is a timeline and a target that's measurable. We've all heard of SMARTer goals, specific, measurable, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you reverse engineer the inputs that need to be done now, aka what you say, think, do, feel, and believe now in order to create that outcome. And in a business, if you don't have any systems, you basically don't have any consistency. And without consistency, you don't have compounding. And without compounding, you don't have momentum. And without momentum, you don't really win in business, because the businesses that win, if you research business and study businesses, are the ones that have a standard operating procedure that they improve upon. You can call it a flywheel, you can call it the compound effect, you can call it the snowball effect. But Warren Buffett says, find your snowball and roll it down a really long hill. And the snowball is predicated on serving others through a product or service. Right. And a business is an entity that is an organization of people that are consistently creating products and services that improve our lives and solve problems.
Nice. Okay. And so how did you create your systems, or can you describe how you do your systems in your business?
Okay, so we have currently 18 departments, 22 team members. But how did we create our systems? I'll start with the runway. Okay, the runway is, I use the plane metaphor, so plane taking off. The runway is so earlier today, we had an NLU team huddle. And so we have a team of 22 people. We have the core team, we have freelancers, and then we have subcontractors.
Right.
I consider them all part of the mission, part of the team. The core team, I meet with them and I coach them, and they all have what's called peak performance tracking. So they all have dreams, goals, metrics, priorities, habits, skills, and identity. I'll explain. Essentially, the idea here is, and this is the metaphor that I use, and it's a little esoteric, but bear with me. Picture a pyramid. The bottom of the pyramid is the crew. So the crew rows the ship. Okay. Then you have the first mate. The first mate runs the crew. Then you have the captain. The captain steers the ship. Then you have the commander, the commodore down below deck with the map and the compass. Then you have the commander, which commands the whole fleet. So leadership means you have to be good at all 5 of those. So there's 5 levels there of leadership, and you have to be good at all 5 simultaneously. It's horrible. It's awful. It's the worst. Very difficult. So, yeah, you're laughing because you know.
Yes.
If you've never led a team, you have no idea how atrocious leadership is. It's very hard. Like, most people get to wake up in the morning and worry about themselves. Unless you're a parent, in which case you have to worry about your kids, so you're a leader.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning and I have to concern myself with the entire company. And that's okay. I signed up for that. But the amount of complexity in a company exponentially increases per team member.
Yeah.
And if you don't have systems, to your point, you will go off the rails.
Yeah.
So the system, back to this. So we have a bi-weekly team huddle. So every other week, 26 times a year, we have a team huddle where we go through every department and we do green, yellow, red. And if it's green, that's good. If it's yellow, we're coasting. And if it's red, it means it's dying. So everything's either growing or dying or neutral.
Right.
And then we have most important win, most important improvement. So we just did this earlier tonight. So social media. Okay, how are we doing? All right. So Kevin was green, I was yellow, and Amy was red. Okay, so we're yellow.
Okay.
All right, what's the most important win? We've been consistent lately. What's the most important improvement? We need to start posting a little bit more about our charity, the Next Level
Right.
Foundation. Okay, those are just examples, but we do that for every department.
Right.
Now, the second piece of this system is everyone has a DRI. Apple and Steve Jobs created this way back in the day, directly responsible individual.
Okay.
DRI. So every department has a name above it. And all of this is in Google Sheets, by the way.
Yeah.
So we have columns for each department, and then we have an impact score, which is basically, are we green, yellow, or red on the impact that we're having? AKA, are we improving? Are we getting worse, or are we coasting? Green, yellow, red is super powerful.
Yeah.
And so we do that assessment for every department. Every department has a directly responsible individual so that we know who is to get credit when things go well and who gets blamed when things don't. And ultimately, I'm responsible for everything because I'm the CEO, but you understand.
Yeah.
And so that's a good sort of high-level summary of our systems. Every single department has its own private WhatsApp group with just the team that works on that department.
Right.
And there's a lot of cross-pollination that happens there and all kinds of stuff. So I'm assuming you probably have a second question at this point, but I think that's a good high level of the systems.
Yeah. Yeah. So you mentioned 18 departments, right? That's a lot to juggle, right? And you've got it all on one single spreadsheet.
So
you have everything.
One dashboard.
Okay.
One sheet within that dashboard.
Yeah.
So there's a spreadsheet, which we call a dashboard, but one sheet is what we call the NLU impact score. And that has green, yellow, or red for all 18 departments.
Right.
And then the impact score at the end.
Okay.
And each
then every
DRI does green, yellow, red under each department.
Right.
Every other week.
Right. And does everyone in your team, all the 22 people, do they all have access to all of that?
Yep.
They know everything.
The core team does.
The core team
does. The freelancers and subcontractors don't.
They just get their bits, what they're responsible for.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And that rolls up to the main dashboard.
Yeah.
And there's permissions in Google Suite that allow you to email access, basically.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. So it's permission based. And that's so what I'm sort of new when I very first started my business, right? I had no idea how to run a business when I first started, no experience in it, nobody that I knew that was running a business. And so I just made every mistake in the book, basically, and I learned from that.
Most business owners do.
Yeah. I think, as you mentioned earlier, like one of the biggest ones was people, right? Staff, and how to hire staff. And I hired the wrong staff. I made the mistake of assuming that I could train them to do what, and then found out much later on that if you just hire the right person in the first place, they can do the job. They'll save you an awful lot of time and stress. So that's one of the things.
Good people are not trained; they're found.
Yes, yeah. So, and then the other thing that I realized when I hired a coach, because I didn't know I knew that I didn't know. So I did hire a coach. And one of the first things the coach taught me was build systems so that when you bring people in, then they're not guessing on what they're supposed to do. They're crystal clear on what they have to do with their SOPs. But also, if things go wrong, you look at the system first. And you look at what's missing in the system that allowed this to happen.
100%.
And that for me was absolute gold, because then you get the people in your team to fix the system. So it doesn't become a blame thing of, oh, they did something wrong. Yes, they did something wrong, but then you have to find out, did they do it wrong because the system told them to do it that way? Right? Or did they not follow the system? And in that case, it's their fault.
Yep.
Right. So it's always, when you have a system, it allows you not to blame your staff first, but to look at the system and then improve the system. As you say, it's a continual improvement, right?
I call that triangulation. So it allows you to point to something that isn't directly pointing at the person.
Yeah.
So you don't trigger their ego.
Yeah.
And so you say, okay, what can we do better in the system so that they don't get super triggered? Yeah. However, what I have found is when you realize that it actually is the people, which you obviously did eventually, because you can improve the system all day, but sometimes that doesn't solve anything. So you eventually realize it is the person, the right person in the right role with the right system. Oh, that's the way. The wrong person with the right system in the right role, it's never going to work. So we talked about this off air, you and I, in the pre-chat about core values and how to hire based on core values, because ultimately it's based on culture, and culture is core values. And core values is things that the unconscious, the unwritten rules. Yeah. The unwritten rules, the mantras, and it has to be things that you live and breathe. And so one of ours is work ethic. And I said this on Business Growth University, a podcast I have. I literally opened it recently, and my production team I knew was watching this because they produced the show. Yeah. And I said, if anyone ever outworks me at Next Level University, I will fire myself as CEO. And that is my message to the team of like, listen, work ethic is very important. Yeah. In the world of the 21st century where we have the 4-hour work week and all this automation. And for me, I think there's nothing more powerful in the 21st century than a group of people that have high work ethic with great systems that are trying to make the world a better place. I mean, that is just a powerful combo. Nice.
So how has your hiring developed over the years as you've been running the business? What have you learned about hiring people? And I think, did you mention something about almost immediately when you interview them?
Now I do. How has your hiring evolved? I stopped doing it. No, I'm kidding. So the truth is, though, I was wildly naive. And we got our first team members back in 2019, I think. And it was Kevin and I, then it was 4, then it was 7, then it was 10, then it was 13, then it was back to 7. And it's expand, contract.
You do have that as kind of like a tipping point, right? Where I've had this with friends that run businesses where they say, if we grow past this number, it all just falls apart. We need to keep it below. And it's to get to that next level, something needs to change, right? In order for you to hire.
That's really powerful. That's constraint theory. It's called positive constraints. Okay. So if you try to achieve, and you can't take this too far, but essentially like I would rather, and I always said this, I said, I'd rather have my Spartan 300 that are really dialed in and committed than 300,000 people that are mediocre. And again, it's a metaphor, obviously. But that's why we have the core team and then the freelancers and subcontractors, because essentially what we figured out over time through massive pain and failure is that the more you have the core values, so I have it written right over here. It's an X, Y, and Z axis. X is humility, inward humility. Y is work ethic, I mentioned. Z is self-improvement. So if you have high humility, and I define these, by the way, high humility is I know that I don't know. High humility is I'm a student first, master second. High humility is what I don't know is limitless, what I do know is limited.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
High humility is I don't have to be the leader in every room.
Yeah.
Okay. Work ethic is show up, grow up, game time, don't complain. You don't feel well, but you're still here. Ange, you mentioned, right? Okay, it's awesome. I love it. I encourage that. Now, you can take that too far and be a martyr, I know, but most people don't. Number 3 is self-improvement, meaning you constantly are trying to be better as a person, not just improve systems, but like you look inward. What I've found, and this is the hard part. So there's 2 types of people I never work with under any circumstance. Number 1 is spoiled brats.
Yes.
These are people with a birthday month and people who make everything about themselves and pretend they don't.
Right. Yeah.
These are people who believe they deserve big rewards for minimal effort. They believe the world owes them something. This is also known as entitlement.
Yes.
And the second one is bullies, people who put others down to feel better about themselves. Those are the 2 people I run in the other direction, and I can sense that very quickly. And I knew when I met you, Ange, you weren't in those categories. Yeah. And I have a acronym called UNMEDSI. Yeah. And I have an UNMEDSI score that I do with everyone the moment I meet them to decide whether or not I will ever see them again.
Okay.
You passed right away. I was late and you were super respectful, which means you're not entitled.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you were so gracious and so kind and so respectful. Whereas in the past, there have been people that just were so unkind, and it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I am donating my time. Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
So back to the core values. If you have high self-improvement, it means high humility, high work ethic, high self-improvement. The more you have, so I have it written over here, 10, 10, 10. Those are my absolutely people.
Okay.
If you're a 0, 0, 0, those are my absolutely not people. And you have to define these and make them very clear to the team. Right. I've made them so clear that I actually did an episode about them and then had my team produce the show so that they would see me writing them out. And this is how we hire and this is how we fire. But let me explain how horrible we did this in the past. So unmedzai is unstable, naive, manipulative, entitled, significance-driven, arrogant, and immature. So I want everyone to imagine hiring someone who's unstable, naive, manipulative, entitled, significance-driven, arrogant, and immature. You cannot win with that person no matter what you do. It is brutal. It's like hiring a toddler. I don't want to be unkind, but that's a lot of what business owners feel sometimes. It's like, why did I hire all these toddlers? This is brutal, right? Like, it's okay to have a hissy fit at 7, but at 70, we got to cut the shit. Pardon my French. Emotional immaturity is the biggest indicator of future failure in a business, in my opinion. And these people are so delicate that they constantly cannot get feedback at all, ever. And it's like, wait, you think I'm lazy? Do you think you're hardworking? They have very low self-awareness. Everything's everyone else's fault.
Yes.
So I'll get off the soapbox here in a second. If you are a leader, you are welcome to use those. They have saved my freaking life, and we have become exponentially more successful the quicker I stopped inviting the Trojan horse into the castle.
Yes, it is so important. Like, as I said, this was one of the major mistakes that I made in the business, was hiring the wrong people. And it just makes it's just night and day, right? When you hire the right people, you fly, right? You actually fly.
Unbelievable. Ange, if I can add one more thing real quick. It just came to me. What was it? Hiring the right people. What did you say right before that?
Oh, no, you're asking me. I don't know.
It'll come to me. If it comes to Sounds good.
Oh dear. Yeah. So it is incredibly, it just makes, as I said, it was night and day. I don't know if that was anything that triggered.
It is night and day.
Night and day. But
it's no doubt in a minute and a half it'll come to me, and I'll have to interrupt you. I'm so sorry.
So learning how to hire the right people and to understand. And like you said at the beginning, you couldn't see this, and then you've learned along the way how to immediately identify who's going to give you trouble, who's not. Right?
I found it.
You got it. Right.
I found it. Thank you. You helped me there. All right, here's the deal. People say this, and I've got a better one. The reason you and I struggled so much with this is because I think we wanted to believe that people were better than they were. Yeah. Now, people say words lie, actions don't. I'm calling BS on that. Actions lie too.
Okay.
Because the way people behave when they're around you is very different than who they are and what they do when no one's watching.
Yes. Yeah.
So here's what they do. They look good on paper. They look good on camera. They look good and say the right things.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, when no one's watching, they're counting the seconds to get off the clock.
Right.
Work ethic in front of me, I no longer care. I need to ask myself this question. This question helped me hire and fire the right people. Can this person, on their own accord, sit in a dark gym by themselves on a Stairmaster and not post it on Instagram? If they can do that, they can be on my team.
Okay.
But if they can't and they have to do it just to post it with the perfect outfit, I will never hire that person under any circumstance.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, so it's just so important. So just hiring the right people, having the right systems is crucial in a business, right? You're just not going to succeed otherwise. And it's not fair also on others. If you hire the wrong people, it's not fair on the team that you have. Right? as well. So, okay. So I think we've had some very, very valuable insights. And I think for people that are starting their business, just being aware of this at the very start is something that is going to really help your business. And thank you so much, Alan, for all of the insights that you've delivered here today. Is there any last words, anything we haven't talked about that you feel would be crucial or critical for someone to know that's listening today?
First of all, thank you for having me again.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it. I know that some of the things that I share are hard to accept and they seem judgmental. But and this is what I would add at the end. I'm not asking you to be judgmental and judge a book by its cover. What I am asking you to do is to read the book and be discerning. Because we say judgment is bad, but I think unfair judgment is bad.
Yeah.
And the truth is, you cannot, as a human being or a business owner, make effective decisions without making a judgment call. And those judgment calls are based on data. And that data might be, hey, I think this person is bad for our team. Maybe even bad for the world. And so there are a lot of snakes out there. There are a lot of liars. Don't be naive. I'm not saying to be pessimistic and nihilistic either, but don't be naive. If you are naive in business, you will be eaten alive. And I had to learn that the hard way. You obviously did too, which is why you're laughing. And so just do yourself a favor. Ego is checked at the door, and so is naive checked at the door. There are a lot of people who do not want to see you win. And it is, without a question, business is the hardest competitive sport, metaphorically, in the world. And you can do it, and you should do it, and that's great. But if you're not cut out for this, there's nothing wrong with being an entrepreneur or an employee or a team member or a chief officer. Like, there's a lot of other paths that you can take. However, if you are at your core an entrepreneur and a business owner, and you know that you should be creating your own thing, just do not go into it naive.
Know what you don't know and learn what you need to know. And then I think if you can just take the things from today of just learning how to hire right in the first place will just cut corners, basically, because when you hire the right people, I'm just thinking of some of the people in my business in the past, and it's just like someone flicked a switch when you hire that person, and and they're just the first day they're there, and you're like, oh, why did I wait so long for this? Right.
Can I add one more thing?
Yeah.
Okay. An achiever and business owner's emotion of choice is frustration. Somewhere along the way, I noticed that the best team members almost never frustrate me.
Okay. Yes.
Frustration is a human emotion that's a signal trying to tell you something or someone is in the way of your goals.
Yes.
If there's someone out there who never frustrates you, Christina is my favorite. I told Emilia, my beautiful girlfriend, future wife, she's a business owner. We own 3 businesses between the 2 of us. She's the CEO of her own company. So we were on a walk the other night. I said, how cool is it that I've worked with Christina for 6 years? Have you ever heard me frustrated with Christina? She said, no, it's amazing. And I said, that's the tell.
Yeah.
The people who frustrate you are most likely, even though there's not much you can point to on the surface, are most likely the bad apples in the thing. Liberate them back to the marketplace. Let them go somewhere where they belong, because they don't belong with your company. Because at the end of the day, you're absolutely right. It starts clicking like you wouldn't believe when you get the right people. Exactly. And that is just a fundamental that you cannot get wrong.
Yeah. And then the sooner you realize that, and it just makes a huge difference. So, Alan, thank you so much for today. It has been absolutely wonderful. And where can people contact you?
Okay, so if you are one of my absolutely people, high humility, high work ethic, high self-improvement, I am not going to be your person if you want big rewards for minimal effort. I'm sure that's obvious at this point. Nextleveluniverse.com is the website. Nextleveluniverse.com, spelled just like it sounds. We have a podcast called Next Level University. It's on all the podcast platforms. We do an episode a day. It's Next Level U, 0.1% improvement in your pocket from anywhere on the planet, completely free. Next Level University.
Nice.
The male role models in your pocket that we wish we had. Kevin and I both grew up without fathers. And it's 1% improvement every day, 0.1%, whatever you prefer. but it's going to help you upgrade your software and your hardware and your firmware and your mindset and your beliefs
Right.
and your habits. It just get a little better each day. No overnight success, no
Mm-hmm.
overnight transformation, just a little bit compounded every single day. And if you listen to the podcast and you do resonate, we have communities and sub communities. We've got a book club, masterclass, all kinds of free stuff. We've got paid stuff, and we've got a fitness group now too. So if you resonate with the podcast, that is the best indicator of whether or not you will fit well in our culture.
Right.
And if you don't like the podcast, that's okay. We're not for everybody, and we know that. And if you do, please reach out. Instagram, Facebook, social media. And if you listen to NLU, all of our stuff will be in the show notes.
Fantastic. So I'll put a link around wherever this shows up, so people can go and definitely check it out. Okay. All right. So thank you, Alan, so much for that. So as we leave today, to thank you all for watching or listening to You're the Boss podcast show. And just do remember to follow, like, and subscribe, and ring the bell. All right. Thank you so much, Alan. It's been a pleasure.
The pleasure's all mine. Thank you so much for having me. I'll come back anytime.
Sure, definitely. Yeah. Thank you for listening to the show today. And if you've liked what you've heard, then do subscribe to the channel wherever you see it, wherever you're watching it. And if you're on YouTube, ring the bell so that you can get notified when we upload another episode, so you don't miss the episodes as they come up.